Tribe. It's your girl Naja here, and I'm back with another video. And this video is a Tribe Tea, you guys' favorite segment on this channel, and that is when you guys send me in your stories and we react, we kiki, we give advice, and all of the above. Now I do have a pre-recorded Tribe Tea, which is this, which is this right here, and I have a live Tribe Tea, which is an hour. So if you do not see your stories on these pre-recordeds, make sure you go and watch the hour-long Tribe Tea. It may be sprinkled in there somewhere. Without further ado, I'm just gonna get right into it. I ain't wasting no time today, sis. Okay, this one is called Sex Almost Killed Me. Well, sis, you're gonna have a real hard life. God damn. Well, let me not say that. I don't even know what's going on yet. That could have been offensive. Let me just get into it. Now, so I have a story for you. Not sure what my name reads on this email, but call me Rachel. I'm a YouTuber as well, and this is such a personal story that I don't want to connect it to my channel. It's all good, Rachel. You're not the first YouTuber to send me some shit. It's all good. I thought of sharing this because there seems to be a theme in Tribe Teas about girls who be sleeping with dudes but not using condoms, unfortunately. And guys, Tribe members, please, protect yourself. Use a condom, okay? So this story takes place when I was 20 years old and I'm currently 26. I grew up homeschooled and sheltered as fuck. My mom never let us kids out of the house and never let us have friends. My parents were also super religious, so any relationships weren't allowed. I've always been a hypersexual girl, and unfortunately, due to my upbringing, have never been explored that with relationships. So I got my second job when I was 20 years old. It was a customer service job. There was a guy that worked there who immediately caught my attention. He was a gorgeous Filipino man, okay sis? And he had the charisma of a Hollywood playboy you see in movies. All right sis. He gave off a bad boy vibe, and he was hella nerdy, anime, video games, and all that. My virgin heart was captivated. I saw him and it was lust at first sight. Let's call him Sean. Girl, I would have called him something like mysterious like Logan or like Zane. I need help. In order to get to know Sean, I had to hide his existence from my parents. We would talk at work and through text and late night phone calls. It turns out we had a lot in common, and he was an extremely sexual dude. And because of how sheltered I was, I liked that. He helped me discover who I was sexually just through phone conversations. Sean is dangerous. After talking for about 2 weeks, I decided to sneak out of my window and go to his house and spend time with him. Girl, you 20 years old, sneak out of a window, sis! This became a regular thing. I would sneak out the window at 1 a.m. and walk down the street and have him pick me up and take me to his house. There we would talk, watch movies, and cuddle. He would even make me food. Eventually, we finally had sex, and it was terrifying. Oh, Jesus. I didn't have the talk with anyone before. I didn't know it would hurt or that I would bleed. I wonder if Sean knew you were a virgin. Well, shit, he knew you were a virgin then. I mean, not necessarily. If he really knew about sex, he knew that it could have been like, okay, quick sex ed, okay? Not all women don't bleed just because they're losing their virginity. Like, I mean, okay, TMI, personal Naja sex life right now. The first time I actually like emphasis on tried to have sex, I didn't bleed, but then the second time where I actually had like full-blown sex, I did. And like another reason why women might bleed is if they haven't had sex for like years and their hymen becomes back intact. So I don't know, I don't know. I'm just giving y'all a quick little sex ed real quick. Sean was so nice and kept asking if I was okay and let me know if it hurt too much, which we would stop. This was my first time having sex, and let me tell you, we did not use a condom. Sean ain't shit for that. Depending on how sexually unaware you were, if he knew all about sex and he was such a pro about sex, like he should have known better. Like, that's fucked up. I didn't know that I was supposed to, but Sean had many relationships prior and should have known. Yes, he should. And this is why people need to stop sheltering their kids when it comes to sex. Like, my dad told me about sex when I was 12 years old and I had no interest in having sex, like, whatsoever. And it was the most embarrassing day. And like, me and my dad talked about this shit like a few months ago, and he was just like, you remember when I did that? And I'm like, yes, Brad. It was so freaking embarrassing. Like, but that's why you have to tell your kids stuff like that when they are of age. Like, because he told me like maybe like a few months after I had my first period, he let me know like, hey, this is sex and you must use condoms, and I know you're probably not doing it right now, but I'm letting you know, and this is exactly why. And I hope you didn't end up pregnant from this, because that would suck. Well, a week or so later, I was running a really high fever. I was so disoriented that I couldn't really walk, and I had these excruciatingly painful blisters that were oozing in and on my lady bits. Sean is going to jail. I would have ran my ass to his house and cut his ass up. What the fuck? I had to walk to the hospital almost passing out. They ran some tests and I was diagnosed with herpes and the HPV virus, the pre-cancerous one. Both are STDs. Let me add that my mom is an anti-vaxxer. That's a whole nother fucking rant. That's a whole nother fucking rant. Like, this is exactly why you vaccinate your children. This is exactly why you teach your children sex education. I can't even be mad at you, Rachel, because multiple people have failed you in this situation. Like, this reminds me of that dude who, once he turned 18, he went and got vaccinated and he called his parents fucking idiots, because it's like, bruh, oh my God, you actually could have died. That's the crazy thing. I thought you were being dramatic. You actually could have died. What the fuck? These STDs have caused lifelong medical problems for me, and before this, I already had problems with cancer too. Ladies, always use condoms. This was my first time. You never know what guys might have, and half the time the guys don't even know what they have. Oh, and I did tell Sean. He was devastated because he knew how already sick I was with the cancer stuff. We found out his girlfriend cheated on him during the relationship and he contracted it. I was a rebound girl and gave it to him without his knowledge. The herpes have caused him medical issues as well. The good news is 6 years later, we are happily married. I am not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you. I just was not expecting that. Okay. Wow. He said he will spend the rest of his life regretting he ever hurt and made me sick. Oh, and I'm now cancer free. Yes, ma'am. I was really hoping you were gonna say that, bro. Like, oh my God. Am I really about to cry, bitch? Am I about to start my period or something? Like, bless. Like, what the fuck? Like, bruh. Okay, let me compose myself. We're gonna cut real quick. I am very happy to hear that you're cancer free. I'm really happy to hear that he kind of owned up to his responsibility of what he did to you and you guys kind of grew closer from it. I don't really think that he knew. I don't think he knew. I feel like he knew he should use a damn condom, but I don't think he knew he had the herpes virus. I really hope that you got vaccinated at this point or something, because I feel like your parents set you up for failure with that one, sis. And no offense to anybody watching this who are anti-vaxxers. I just feel like their main argument is that they don't want their kids to have autism. I would rather have an autistic child than having no child whatsoever because they caught a cold at daycare. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm surprised that you lived up to 20 and didn't. Maybe that's why your parents kept you so sheltered and didn't let you really do much, because they were scared of something happening to you. But I'm really glad that everything turned out well. You're cancer free and you married that guy. I mean, shit, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. That was a really interesting story. So this one is called "My Friend Prank Called Her Ex-Boyfriend's Mom." The level of petty. Like, what did the mom do to you? What did she do to you? Naja, I want to start off by saying I love watching your mom YouTube videos. My mom YouTube videos? Does my mom have a YouTube channel? This story happened back in the summer of 2018. I was 16 at the time, going on 17, so this situation was fucked up, but was also funny. Also, my friend might see, but I think she wouldn't give a fuck. All the names in the story were changed. So during the summer, my friend Destiny and her boyfriend at the time had this big fallout. She was mad at her boyfriend because he was always on his mom's side and always did what she did. Basically, he valued his mom's opinions more than Destiny's. She was also mad at the fact that his mom didn't like her because she wasn't in the same religion like their family were, which are Jehovah's Witnesses. So after their breakup, Destiny was still salty about the breakup and blamed her ex-boyfriend's mom for it. So she wanted to get back at her by plotting to do a prank phone call. At first, I was against it because she obviously could tell if that was Destiny's voice if she was the prank caller, but then Destiny proceeds to tell me that she wanted to do it, which made me straight up say no. To be completely honest, I'm the type of person whose voice will start shaking like crazy when I'm doing something that makes me nervous as hell. She starts saying, "You're a pussy with your scary ass." But I didn't give a fuck because I have to admit, I am a pussy when it comes to doing devilish shit. So that's nothing new. Fast forward to a week later when I got a phone call from Destiny telling me she found someone to do the prank call and she wanted me to come over to her house to witness it. So I go over to this girl's house and we see her ratchet ass older cousin Vernell with her 2-year-old daughter. Vernell, you have a child. You're a mother yourself. Like, you didn't feel the need to be like, what the fuck? Look, what the fuck? Like, and then it's like, when you're grown, it's like, bro, why are you playing on my phone? Like, don't be playing on my phone, bitch. Like, where are you at? Like, what the fuck? Mind you, Vernell is like 2 years older than Destiny, who's at the time was 17. Wow. I look over at Destiny and this girl was grinning back, talking about, yeah, we gonna get this bitch. So I asked Destiny, does she have any idea what she wanted Vernell to say on the phone? She's like, no, but Vernell already had a plan in mind. So we're sitting in Destiny's room, waiting on Vernell to finish smoking her cigarette. Then she comes back in the room all ready for Destiny to call up her ex's mom. Vernell is giving me hood booger vibes. Vernell is giving me hood booger vibes right now. Calls the number on this text me app, then hands the phone to Vernell. The phone rings a few times till we hear a hello on the other side of the phone. The phone was on speaker, by the way. Vernell was like, yeah, is Teddy home? So we hear this woman say, no, why? This girl straight up said, well, tell Teddy that he needs to come see me because his daughter is missing her daddy. Why are y'all playing with people like this? This ain't even funny. This is petty and juvenile. Like, why are y'all messing with people like this? Oh my God. That bitch said, nah, my husband don't cheat no more. Okay. Vernell started telling this lady how her husband fucked her and a bunch of other crap to attempt to piss this woman off. So after a while, we hear Vernell said, go get her baby. I go get the baby and give the baby to Vernell. Oh, well, you're an accomplice now. You're an accomplice. And she says, say hi to your stepmama. Bitch, as soon as that baby mumbles out hi, this lady hard ass start cursing and calling Vernell a hoe ass bitch and a husband stealer. Vernell crazy ass respond by saying, well, your husband didn't think I was a hoe ass bitch when he knocked me up. As soon as she said this, the lady started yelling even louder, and by this point, Vernell hung up on her. After she hung up, Destiny ass was already out the room laughing because right in the middle of the conversation, she couldn't keep a straight face. Shit, I was laughing too, but somehow I managed to keep myself calm. Destiny came back in the room praising this girl for her good acting skills. While we were talking to Vernell, we hear the phone start ringing. Destiny looks at the phone and said it was her ex's mom again. So instead of answering the phone, Destiny just flat out ignored the call, then uninstalled the app. Thank God she did, because we possibly fucked up that woman's marriage. Thank you for reading my story, Naja. Y'all are going to hell. I don't even have anything to say. Like, that was just so petty and juvenile, and like, you had this grown-ass hood booger. Like, at the time, y'all were teenagers. That's some teenage shit, but this bitch is, what, in her 20s doing shit like that? Like, come on now. Come on now. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say in the comments. I don't have anything to say about that shit. Like, that was just trifling. Like, what the fuck? Okay, so this one is called Why You Can't Play Pokemon Go in the Hood. I already know a few reasons why you would be able to. Naja, I've been a fan ever since your septum piercing video. I'm about to be 17, but when this happened, I was 13 and thought I was grown. So this happened right after Pokemon Go came out and everyone was all about it. Damn, when Pokemon Go came out, I was in college. No, I wasn't even in college. I was in my first year of Ratchet Corp, I think. So that can't be right. 7, you were 13, 4 years ago? Maybe I was in college. I don't know. I'm trying to timestamp things in my head. No, that would, you said you're about to be 17. So yeah, that would be right. My first year of Ratchet Corp, you were 13. That makes me feel some type of way. This happened right after Pokemon Go came out and everyone was all about it. Now I lived in an oil field town which are notorious for drugs, child trafficking, and gangs. Yes, I've seen a lot of documentaries about those type of towns. I would not let my child outside. I'm sorry, I know I was talking all that shit about letting your kids get experience and shit earlier, but in this situation, your ass would be right in the fucking shack. Like, no ma'am, no sir. My mom always told me that as long as I take one of my dogs with me, no one is gonna try shit. Well, this day I was going to walk my dog at the park I live near with my dog. Now my dog is big. The bitch is a German Shepherd Husky mix and she looks spooky. I barely even crossed the street when this dude rolls up in his truck just watching. Across the street from my house is an elementary school with big fences, so I had just gotten there when this man starts following the fence. I notice but think he's just some crackhead. Well, I'm close to leaving the elementary school's area when this grown-ass man is like, hey, come over here. Now you know my twink ass. You did not say your twink ass. I am dead. Oh my god. So now you know my twink ass ain't about to go over there. I call on my grown-ass friend and I'm freaking out. The dude keeps trying to get me to go over there. I scream, no, fuck you. Which seemed to spook him because he whipped out so fast. I ran to a part of the schoolyard where I was hidden and just sat there with my dog and my friend. After like 10 minutes of just waiting, I walked my ass home and nearly had a panic attack. The scariest part is not even 2 days later, some girl got raped at my local ATM playing Pokemon Go. Ooh, God was trying to tell you something. That's scary. I know this isn't the longest, but people need to know not to be going anywhere alone. I should have called the cops, but I was just so freaked out that I could hardly think of anything other than fucking running home. Thanks for reading this. Guys, that is crazy. Like, you are very freaking lucky that nothing happened to you, especially the circumstances that happened afterwards. That whole Pokemon Go thing was just bad in general because people were getting hit by cars, people were walking into things. Actually the police was using Pokemon Go to like bust drug houses and stuff like that. Like, people were using Pokemon Go for a lot of things. People were using Pokemon Go to catch criminals and stuff like that, but I'm glad Pokemon Go isn't a thing anymore because there were a lot of horror stories about it. Let me know if anything creepy ever happened to you while playing Pokemon Go. Alright, so this is the last one that I'm going to be reading today. It is called My Boyfriend Broke Into My House. Hey Naja, as soon as I thought of this story, I knew I had to send it in for a tribe tea. So when I was 16 to 18, I was with this abusive boyfriend. Your stories about your ex have a lot of similarities with my situation. But when I was a senior in high school, I was 17 and he was 19. He was starting college and had bought a brand new MacBook. I had a project I had to finish and I didn't have a computer at home, so he let me borrow his laptop for a few days so I could finish it. I really didn't want to take it. I could have done it at school and didn't want to be responsible for his brand new laptop, but he insisted. I was so scared something would happen to it, so when I finished, I specifically told him I put it under my bed so I wouldn't lose it or step on it or anything like that, because I break almost every piece of technology I own. I was going to bring it to him the next day after school when I went to see him. So we got in an argument the next day while I was at school over something I'm sure was insignificant, but he managed to ruin my day and was being so mean as usual. When he got mad at me, he was just really persistent, telling me I have to bring him his laptop right after school because he had homework to do and couldn't get it done because I had his laptop, as if he didn't make me take it home. But I go home to grab his laptop before my mom got home. I didn't want her questioning me because we weren't supposed to be together in the first place. And of course, it's not under my bed anymore. I start to panic because I know there is no way anyone would have been there besides me and my mom. So I was freaking out, second guessing my own memory and shit. But my ex is on the phone talking about, where's my laptop? Bring it now. Sis, I would never took that. Like, if you knew, and I'm not trying to victim blame you, but if you knew this man was crazy, I wouldn't took shit from him. I would have been like, oh, alright, I would have lied. I already have a laptop. I don't need it. Like, the fuck. So I had to tell him it wasn't there, and of course I was scared. He just said I didn't have a choice. I had to find it. So I was going crazy, tearing up the house, going back and forth between my mom and dad's house, and I finally gave up and told him I had no idea where it was. So this dude told me to go buy him a new one. So I took my ass to Best Buy and bought this dude a brand new laptop just like the one he had before. Keep in mind, this is a lot of money. I was only 17, right? And did you buy him another MacBook? Like, that's crazy. I go to his house crying, so upset with myself. I knew I shouldn't have trusted myself with it. Just for dude to tell me he took it from my house. I already knew that was coming, bitch. Like, I was shocked because he had never even been in my mom's house, but he knew where the key was and he knew nobody was home. His excuse was that he wanted to see if I could actually buy him a new one, which is obviously fucked up to do, right? And I think he realized after, so he returned the laptop I bought and the money went back in my account. And of course he found a way to flip the situation and make it all my fault somehow. But that's pretty much it. Of course the logical thing would be to break up with his crazy ass, but I stayed for a few more months before breaking it off. Moral of the story, don't tell anyone where you keep your house key. Moral of the story, don't borrow shit from crazy people. Don't tell nobody where your house key at. Don't tell nobody what the schedule is going on in your household, because goddamn, that dude is crazy. He broke in your house. He broke, bruh, ooh. I can only imagine if I had a child and their significant other broke into my house. Like, they'll be under the jail. They'll be under the jail. And then I'll call their parents and ask for consent to whoop their ass. Like, what? That's some psycho ass shit. I'm glad that you're not with him anymore, because that's really manipulative and possessive and weird. Alright guys, so that is it for today's Tribe Tea segment. I hope you like it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!